Everybody talks about the sandwich generation when you're in your 40s and 50s. But caregiving doesn't always end just because your kids have moved on or your parents have passed. In fact, after 60, the sandwich can flip. You're now taking care of your grandchildren and maybe your spouse. Good news is that help exists, but nobody ever tells you. Hi, I'm Ann Johnson. Let's chat about this. By your 60s, the landscape has changed a little bit. Your parents may have passed, kids are grown, running their own household. So, on paper, your responsibilities in caregiving are winding down. But for a lot of women, that's not how it goes. They're more redirected. Their caregiving is redirected to grandchildren or a spouse. And it's happening without that built in support system from sometimes your parents, sometimes your spouse, sometimes from the school counselor. There's no parent network or group chat. But here's the part worth naming. Other than in your 50s, being in your 60s does come with some perks. No more pickup from school that collides with your work schedule. And normally you are in charge of your own schedule. You might even have some financial stability that you didn't have when you were in your 50s. That's not nothing. That's an actual resource. And it can change a little bit how you approach things when it gets hard. For a meaningful number of women, this is the flip side of the sandwich. You're not just visiting your grandchildren on the weekend, you're taking care of them 24/7. And this could be because your adult child has financial problems, drug problem, or unfortunately may have passed. That's not helping out. That's starting over again when you were supposed to be winding down, not picking out a car seat. Here's the part that matters, more so than the situation having a name to it. And that is the infrastructure built to help you. Kinship care programs exist. Support groups. And in many states, there might be some financial assistance and some legal help, especially if you need to get guardianship of your grandchild. These are built for grandparents who are raising children specifically, not some just generic program meant for everybody. You are not inventing a solution from nothing. You're taking advantage of the scaffolding that somebody else built. Worth noting, many area agencies on aging help out grandparents who are 55 and older or other relatives 55 and older who are going through something similar. These same resources can help you out if you're taking care of a spouse. Same resource, different situations. I'm going to do a full video on some of the programs that can help grandparents out, so stay tuned for that. The other flip to the sandwich generation is a lot quieter, and there is no starting point. It just kind of sneaks up on you, and that's taking care of a spouse. Mobility issues, chronic disease, cognitive problems. Suddenly, your marriage turns into a caregiving situation. This is a different grief than caring for a parent. This is your spouse. This is somebody you thought that you would grow old with, travel with, talk to, enjoy a bike ride with, and suddenly you're taking care of them. I watched my mother go through this when she was in her 70s. She retired from teaching when she was 72, and shortly afterwards, her husband, who was probably 15 years, not quite 15 years, 12 years older than her, got really sick, and he practically became an invalid. I lived almost 11, and still do, 11 hours away from her, so I couldn't help. So she was pretty much on her own, and I watched how she had to turn down fun activities because she had to take care of him. And she didn't resent it. She loved him, but it was very difficult for her. And she was all alone. By the time he did pass, she was totally exhausted. At the time, we didn't know where to turn, what organizations could help. Things have changed. There is relief. And I want to make it very specific, not vague. There's a resource that's free called the Eldercare Locator. There's a website and a hotline. I'm going to link it in the description below that can help. This website and phone number links you to the Area Agency on Aging in your area. All you have to do is enter your zip code. That call puts you in touch with someone whose only job is helping you. Once you connect, these AAAs pair you with a dedicated care coordinator that can help you in getting some respite care, temporary relief. You'll actually be able to get some rest. Training, support groups, counseling, these will all be available to you at no cost. Respite isn't just the vague concept. It can mean in-home care, an adult day program, or even a short stay in a facility just to give you a break. Some regions will give you a voucher that covers hours of in-home care for a limited time. This isn't a luxury program for people with money to spare. This is specifically made for caregivers to give them some respite care when they need it. After all, caregivers need relief too, not just the person being cared for. Here's what makes 60-plus caregiving more difficult than when you were younger, and that is friends assume that you have all this freedom, that you visit your kids on the weekend, that you and your spouse take off and do things together. They don't get it. The reality is even sharper because there's an isolation that comes with caregiving, an isolation that people don't know about. And we tend to suck it up, don't we? And not say anything. The fix here isn't a program, it's a sentence. And that's saying the load out loud to a friend or a family member, letting them know what you're going through. If there's one actionable thing I want you to take from this video, and that is talking to a friend or family member, letting them know what you're going through. Not because it fixes the caregiving, but because it lets you be seen. And who knows? If you talk about it to friends and family, they may offer you a time so that you can get away. You don't know unless you open up and discuss it. So the sandwich flips. Not harder, not easier, just different. And the difference means the tools are different. Kinship care, Eldercare Locator, services that your state may offer or your county may offer. These are all there for you. And once more, the final act of telling somebody what you're going through. If you can, please subscribe, and thanks for the chat.